This is good?
When you leave the international airport of Rio de Janeiro and head towards the south of the city, which is where all the beaches are, you pass a sprawling informal settlement called Mare. It's one of hundreds of neglected shanty towns like this.
Jesus.
It goes on for miles. But when you pass by there today, all you see is this wall.
A wall? So? We'll build one right here.
Look at this map of Rio.
Big ass
Here's
wall.
the part that you probably know. It's the South Zone. It's where all the iconic beaches are. Mare is in Rio's North Zone, which is where most of the city's poor live.
A barreira acústica, a ideia, segundo eles, era para poder barrar o som. Porém, é nítido que essa barreira, o único intuito dela é para quê? Para que as pessoas que saem do aeroporto do Galeão e vão sentido a Zona Sul não consigam.
Oh, sure. Okay, dude. The argument is that it's to block sound.
Não consigam.
Really, you see all this, dude, and the first thing you think that they need, guys, these people, dude, they need soundproofing, dude. We need to decrease the sound pollution, dude. Come on, man.
Ver a realidade da cidade.
They don't have sewage systems, they don't have housing rights, they don't have anything. But, you know, the city is really concerned about how loud the cars are. So, because they're worried about, you know, the ears of the poor people that don't have food in their stomach.
The city just installed a big new school in this community a few months ago. You'll note that when we get to this part of the highway, the wall becomes totally transparent, giving us a perfect view of the shiny school.
Every time international attention comes to Rio, the city scrambles to build up infrastructure around tourism for visitors to see that it's this amazing city. The problem is the visitors will come and they go, but the people of Rio are here to stay. And they're frustrated. They're frustrated that their government will spend so much money to build up certain parts of the city and completely neglect others. The Olympics is no different in this case. In fact, it's probably the biggest excuse Rio has to pour tons of money into making the city look good.
This is Patricia.
That's
she
bullshit.
rides the buses here in Rio and has noticed a major change in the bus routes recently.
It used to be a line who left Ramos, who is in the North Zone, to Cosme Velho, where we have the Christ. And this line was extinguished.
Patricia is showing me a few examples of the 11 bus lines that were cut between the poor North Zone and the touristy rich South Zone, all in preparation for the Olympics. It's now much harder for a resident of the North Zone to get down to the beaches of Ipanema or Copacabana. So why cut the bus line?
If all of these black people, poor people, barefoot people are there, it's like, no, we have to clean this. And they always wanted to clean, but now they have a purpose, they have a deadline to do this.
If discriminatory bus lines are bad, here's where it gets worse. So back to this map. Out here in the west is a place called Baja. R's are pronounced like H in Portuguese. This is a new part of the city where a lot of the Olympics action is happening. It's where the Olympics Park is going to be built. And because of this, it's home to what one real estate publication is calling a cosmopolitan awakening. Tons of real estate investment. And of course, a bunch of dramatic promotional videos to go with it.
19 months, wow.
Jesus.
There's this one guy named Carlos Carvalho. He's a real estate developer, and he owns 64 million square feet in Baja. Last year, in a series of interviews with big publications, Carvalho sketched out his dream for Baja. His goal is to turn this place into a new Rio, a city for the elite, of good taste.
What about the old one?
Housing, not housing for the poor. This guy's the 12th richest person in Brazil, and he's got a ton of political influence to make his dream happen. Here he is with Rio's mayor, whose re-election campaign he generously donated to. They're just, looking over plans for how they're going to reshape Baja. But there's one big problem for people like Carlos Carvalho and his dream to make Baja a haven for the rich.
If your interest is in land value, the less poor people you have in your land, the greater value you can give it to it. They think of the city as a place for you to invest in, not a place for you to live in.
Over the years, little settlements of a few hundred families have popped up in Baja. It's usually workers unable to find affordable housing and creating communities of their own. These places have been around for decades, and many of them have gained legal status for their property. But to the luxury-minded developers of this new part of town, these informal settlements represent a barrier to their plan. So when the Olympic Park was planned for this area of Rio, it wasn't much of a surprise when the city came in with eminent domain eviction orders, telling these communities that they would be moved to public housing complexes, usually far out of sight of any international visitors. Most communities left, some happily taking the money that the city gave them. Some mounted intense but failed resistance. But I visited one community that
much more coming. Have a good stream,
that didn't give up on the fight to keep their homes.
Quando falaram que as Olimpíadas ia ser no Rio de Janeiro, nós já sabíamos que o nosso problema ia aumentar.
Okay, listen, dude. Let's not, you know. Dude, we get it.
Villa Autodromo was a community of around 600 families
I didn't see blood there.
where the Olympic Park is being built. It's not on the actual park property, but it's in the site of the park.
Guys, do you know how much vegetation there is?
What it looks like today.
In Brazil, dude? They have a lot of tomatoes, which means they do a lot of ketchup.
9 months.
People chose to go there because there was no drug trafficking or militia. It was very safe, very good sense of community, near jobs, near schools. It's hard to know that when you just visit the community. But you kind of get a sense of that by seeing the people who are still resisting, you know, because they're holding on to that memory and they want to keep some of that alive.
After years of fighting with the city hall, only 20 families of the original 600 remain in this community.
Okay, dude.
Tínhamos árvores frutíferas que nos alimentavam, que nós plantamos.
See, chat, I told you, guys, those are things that was body liquid. Look,
Government weird
fruit
taxes,
trees.
Weird champ not being allowed
Guys,
to own a new government.
this backs up my argument. You see?
Weird champ
Fruit
not
trees,
being allowed to own a
tomatoes,
new government. Weird
ketchup.
Champ taxes, weird champ not being allowed to own a new government. Weird champ taxes, weird champ.
Cada canto daquela casa foi construído com muito carinho, as árvores, as plantas.
O que impede a Vila Autódromo de permanecer do lado do Parque Olímpico? É alguma razão urbanística? Não, não é. É uma razão uma razão dos interesses econômicos que estão ligados à valorização imobiliária. Não tem outra razão.
Sabe, eu ter me preparado antes, eu sabia que um dia minha casa ia ter mas para mim esse período foi o pior momento de toda a luta.
Through the long fight, some of Villa Autodromo was able to stay. But this is rare. Most communities that receive eviction orders no longer exist. At least 77,200 people have been removed from their homes in Rio de Janeiro since 2009. That's according to government data. And much of this is to make way for infrastructure and real estate projects associated with the World Cup and the Olympic Games.
So it's kind of a shame because the Olympics ends up coming in and kind of whitewashing areas and creating and reframing them. And you know, you lose a lot of the personality.
Of course, there have been numerous benefits to the people of Rio thanks to the Olympics investments. New bus lines, revitalizations of old parts of the city, museums, parks. This stuff will make life better in the city for sure. But in the end, billions of public dollars that were supposed to benefit the people ended up bowing to the interests of a few people with a lot of money.
Nice bait,
and instead of investing in the underserved, Rio will once again hide them from view.
Good one. Listen, dude. For all the edgy people saying true, listen. In a lot of these places, sometimes they don't even have the infrastructure to work harder. They don't have the basic normal tools, let alone the basic human needs to even get there, dude. How do you expect your people to pop the fuck off and absolutely roll when they have to scramble everything, dude, to obtain like basic human needs? Dude, it's hard, man. What do you want? You know? Okay, what is this? What do you mean not true? How is this not true? With your mentality, you're saying that everywhere in the world that we all start at equal footing. That's just not true, man. We do not start at equal footing. Oh, this is such a good video, because I want to watch it again. We've seen this before, I want to watch it again. We do not start at equal footing. That is simply not correct, dude.
Imagine going to work all day and trying to feed your family in Brazil.
Some people have really bad RNG.
And then the government take 50% of your paycheck.
Bad spawn point, bad starting loot, you know. Yeah, why am I watching this? Why am I watching this? So Bobin's a better streamer. He absolutely is. What about it?
One of my favourite ingredients in the world sums up food at its finest and most prestigious. Caviar.
Very decadent, very nutty, very creamy.
Roses are red, my favourite number
bursting
2.
with flavour,
Wait,
like individual
what's that
pearls
noise?
exploding in your mouth.
El Goblino is
Absolutely
coming
delicious.
for you.
Okay, that's such a good video.
But classic wild caviar is under threat. Sturgeon in the Caspian Sea are overfished and close to extinction. So the hunt is on to find alternatives fast.
So I'm looking for something sustainable and affordable to blow beluga out of the water when it comes to taste and texture. I'm not going to find it in fucking Knightsbridge.
I've come to Andalusia in southern Spain, which for the past 25 years has hidden one of the Mediterranean's best-kept secrets.
If this caviar is as good as a real McCoy, the proper beluga, then this could be a fucking amazing find. Here in Spain.
It's the water flowing through these mountains that led the owners of Rio Frio Caviar to set up a farm here after a 7-year search for the perfect source. Export manager and fellow Brit Keith Jaggard will be showing me around.
Hi, Gordon.
How are you?
Nice to meet you, right?
Now, are you on half term? You look about 12. Now, I didn't think it's possible to farm sturgeon. Why are you here in the middle of fucking Spain of all places?
The temperature of the water is 13 to 15 degrees all year round, and that's because we have the source of the spring at 200 metres away from where we're standing.
Drinkable?
Drinkable and natural.
Which is a benefit to the sturgeon.
Of course.
So, are we talking about as good
Terrible.
as wild or better?
I'd say better.
You've got a big pair of cojones.
That's how does it is. It's really good.
Yes, I have.
Fuck me.
First, Keith's taking me to see the tiddlers.
They're so ugly.
Yeah.
Yet so delicious and delicate.
Yeah.
But it'll be 8 years before we can tell the little boys from the big money girls, who can be anything up to the age of 20.
Chat, listen, I don't want to interrupt the video, chat, but listen, if we're going to complain about chat about, oh, we saw this already, chat, I know for a fact that we didn't see the new TikTok compilation. We definitely did.
Before their caviar's ready for harvesting.
Oh, God, they're everywhere.
But first, I've got to catch one.
If you can grab the
Prehistoric distant relatives of the shark, these big mothers are almost 60 kilos, and to be examined for caviar, they're wrestled out of the water by hand.
Let's get it on.
It's absolutely beautiful. So how old is this one?
This one will probably be between 18, 19 years old.
For nearly half that time, the valuable eggs in this fish have been developing. Their
That's a
size and
huge
condition
sucker.
are checked using ultrasound.
You can just about see every single egg.
I mean, it's honestly identical to going with your wife for an ultrasound, little KY jelly rubbing round, looking for the little heartbeat, and oh shit, there's 2 heartbeats there, you've got twins. Except here we're looking at, what, 4.5 to 5 kilos
of
caviar.
The trick is to catch the eggs at the...
Chat, if this hatches all the eggs, do they all spawn or only a couple of them?
Optimum quality before the fish spawns naturally. But this beauty isn't quite ready yet.
Possibly 6 months.
No way.
We'll give it another scan.
Right.
And,
No way.
see how it's getting on. If we just try and turn it around.
Yeah, my
Okay.
God. Oh shit.
Okay.
There you go.
And then just
1%
slowly push
survivors.
it off. Just very, very calmly.
When the sturgeon are ready, they're killed and sent for a clinical extraction.
This looks like a fucking operating theatre. Hola. Hola.
Today, Chief Sturgeon Surgeon Javier is entrusting me with the scalpel.
Is that too deep?
No, keep going. That's
good. Just keep going. A little bit.
That's perfect. Keep going.
Okay, let me see.
Oh shit, I can see caviar.
Yeah, it starts very far down.
Well, I wish you'd told me. Jesus Christ. Look at all that caviar in there. Look at that. Is that all the way up there?
Looks like a liver.
God.
Okay, so you can actually see.
Look at that. Jesus Christ.
I'm done with this shit. That's actually disgusting.
Look at all the caviar. It's like a bathtub full of fucking caviar. How much is in there? I'm surprised you haven't got a security guard for each sturgeon in there. You know that?
Yeah, we do.
Underwater diver.
We do.
We don't have security guards, but we have big dogs.
Do you mind if a little taste, please?
No, go ahead.
Unbelievable. It does need some salt on there.
Right out of the belly, that's fucking disgusting, dude. Doesn't have that like a placenta?
I couldn't wait to learn how to transform these freshly harvested eggs into the delicacy I know and love.
So shall we process?
Process? Yeah. Fuck me. I'm going back home. Fuck me.
Oh wait, it doesn't, because these are eggs. They're not like humans.
First, the eggs are separated from the membrane.
So you're just gently rubbing it, holding the membrane. And we're not bursting the eggs like this.
No.
Well, that is beautiful. What's that worth in there now, Keith?
Talking well over £10,000.
Oh my God.
They're then rinsed in cold, salted spring water before sea salt is added to dramatically enhance the caviar's flavour.
You do, I don't want to fuck up. 10 grams worth of
$10,000.
Okay.
Fingers in and just that's right, yeah.
Faster.
Faster.
Okay.
Wow. Very creamy. For me, it doesn't need any more salt.
Very
That's
nutty.
delicious.
Seasoned to perfection and matured for 4 months, the caviar in this tin alone will be worth $3.5 grand.
Thank you. Thank you.
Who buys this shit anyway?
This stuff really does give wild caviar a run for its money, and I've got the perfect recipe to show it off.
Right, lobster and potato salad with the most amazing mayonnaise and that special farmed caviar.
Does that even taste good and worth the price?
Tie 2 lobster tails with string.
As the lobster cooks, tail stays nice and straight.
Poach for 6 to 7 minutes.
Bay leaf, lemon, lime, fennel, star anise, coriander, bang.
Parboil the potatoes.
Whilst that's cooking,
Yes, I know.
mayonnaise.
Add mustard powder and white wine vinegar to the egg yolks.
Whisk,
Bang.
whisk, whisk.
Slowly add the olive oil.
If we don't whisk it enough, it splits. Now, to the exciting part. A little bit of truffle oil. 2 or 3 little drops. Beautiful.
Lobster out.
It's nice and straight, so it's a lot easier to slice.
Slice the potatoes. Season and drizzle with olive oil. Saute the potatoes and give the lobster a blast of
I
heat
love
in the
potatoes
pan.
like that.
Literally 30 seconds each side. That stops the lobster from becoming really chewy and enhances the flavour.
Lightly dress a salad and serve.
5 nice slices of potato, 5 nice medallions of
Of
lobster,
potato,
a
potato.
teaspoon of truffle mayonnaise on the potato, finishing the salad with this baby. Look at that. Absolutely amazing. My God. It has to be the perfect dish for the Last Supper. A salad of potato, lobster, truffle mayonnaise, and the most amazing fucking caviar.
Great, man. That looks fucking disgusting. Poach it.